Don't you just love iced tea on a beautiful mountain day? We thought it was about time that we took you guys on a tour of our farmstead. You've been seeing us work on this farm, work with our animals, but we've never actually given you the official tour and kind of broken down what a day in the life.
What our routine is. What it takes to maintain and feed, and how much we've built so far, and what we plan on building hopefully soon if Matt lets me.
We would just kind of explain a little bit of like what goes into it, what goes into caring for our horses, our chickens, our puppy dogs.
When I told him that I want to get a horse, and he said, well, I want chickens, and we started building this whole farmstead, one of his rules, which I agreed to, was every animal kind of has to serve a purpose or have a role. Let's give an example of an animal that you're like no to.
For example, a pig.
A peacock. Well, a pig on a farm still has a purpose.
We're not eating our animals, so a pig would not really serve any purpose. And we have a lot of friends up here that keep being like, yeah, pigs, they're so cute.
You don't know anything about peacocks?
I don't know anything about peacocks. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up with a peacock someday knowing you.
No, I don't want a peacock.
You just said you wanted a peacock.
I did, but I don't want a peacock now. Now I want a milking sheep.
You guys, here's the thing. So Blue came across a milking sheep, and he started doing all this research and found out that like sheep's milk is actually a lot better for you than cow milk or even goat's milk.
It's far superior, they say. Better, like higher protein, more vitamins. It's probably like glue though. I imagine it just being super thick.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know. I think we need to try some sheep milk before we actually buy the sheep.
What I love about the chickens is we have our own eggs. We feed them ourselves. We know what goes into them, and they're just a better quality egg.
Absolutely.
It's the same kind of thing with a milk animal. The cost of feeding the chickens is basically the same as the cost of how many eggs we buy, because we eat a lot of eggs.
We eat a lot of eggs.
And we know how they're treated, we know how they're raised, we feel better about it. So same kind of idea with whatever animal we get for milk. All right, let's get on with this tour.
All right, go grab yourself a big fat iced tea and sit down, because we're about to take you on a tour of our little farmstead.
Let's go. Of course, every farm needs a dog. Or two. We only have one. But we had Arliss before we started building our little farmstead up here. He comes from Champion Hunting Dogs. Of course, when we bought him from the breeder, they were telling us all about it, but we didn't really care about that. We just wanted a good dog, family dog that was going to be nice and mellow and friendly to our kid. Because of his background and his breeding, he is super on any kind of movement around the yard, whether it's a bird, he's a big chipmunk chaser, but also foxes. We have a lot of wildlife, and foxes are one of the main predators, especially for our chickens. So he does a really good job of keeping all those predators away from the girls, and just kind of making noise and scaring things off, like the mountain lions and the bears. All those kind of predators, they want the easiest meal they can find. They don't want to have to deal with a loud, annoying dog, though I don't think that would necessarily stop them, but I think it is a deterrent, and he does a great job of that. So he is king of the farm. That's Arliss. A lot of you guys know him, but his name is Nelson. He's a very sweet horse. He's a very sweet, stubborn horse. He eats a lot of hay. He's about 1,200 pounds. He's 15 and a half hands.
But he's a quarter horse, so he's stocky too.
Yeah, he's just big. He's big and intimidating and just stubborn, but he's also very sweet. Yeah, that was wet. That was wet.
He's always got boogery wet kisses.
So he gets 10 pounds of grass hay in the morning and 10 pounds at night. He also gets a mixture of beet pulp. Ends up looking like this after you soak it with water. Gets it soft, right? And the reason I give him this is only because he doesn't need it. He's fine off grass hay. But I give him this supplement called Equal Pride. Just making sure he gets everything that he needs. Vitamins, enzymes, minerals, all that good stuff. I actually really enjoy the smell of it.
Yeah, it kind of smells like a really nice granola bar.
I throw a scoop of that in there for him. He gets this once a day. Just kind of mix it in. He can hear the spoon on the bucket.
Look at him, he's getting all...
Is he getting all worked up?
Yeah, he is.
Getting all hot and bothered. Get over your bowl. So this is our winter supply of grass hay. We have two different pasture areas for Nelson. We have one right down here by the house. That pasture I water a lot with just recycled water from the house, because we're on a well and it's not very strong, but when you're warming up the bathtub, waiting for that hot water to come out, we have 5-gallon buckets that we collect, that cold water. That's how we keep the grass down there in that pasture a little greener for him. And we have another pasture that's a little more dry and more like mountain slopey, more just kind of space for him to move around in. Grass sometimes during the year, but between those two spaces, it kind of makes up some of the food that he eats throughout the day. Our well in the house is a little weak. It doesn't produce much water, so we have to have our water trucked in. So he's got about 100-gallon stock tank of water here and a 70-gallon out in the other pasture. And these bees, it's kind of a pain in the ass. We have a strainer, and this kind of just takes out the chunks. And my mom taught me this. It helps preserve the water a little bit longer, so water doesn't get all gross. I mean, it does, but do you mind? Just want some love.
Need some love.
One thing about horses is that they poop a lot. We pile it up and are waiting for it to kind of decompose, and we've used it to plant trees. We've used it just to kind of put places where the wind has hit really hard. But you find uses around the property for it, so it's not going to the landfill.
All right, let's take them out to pasture.
Wanna go to pasture?
Off to the pasture with Nelson. Welcome to my wonderful world of hens and roosters. Chickens! Birds! Don't peck my eye. This is kind of like my domain. I mean, the chickens are all of ours, but this is where these animals are kind of my world. This is my girl Dolly. She was actually one of the first chickens that we hatched. You better not poke my eyeball. You better not poke my eyeball. I see you staring at me. Initially, one of the reasons why I wanted to get chickens so bad was because we do eat so many eggs in our household. I wanted to know where our eggs were coming from and what was going into them. And I wanted to make sure that the birds were well taken care of and that we felt good about the eggs that we were eating every day. And it was a nice way that we could take care of these girls and boy and provide them with a good, nice, safe home, and in exchange they provide us with delicious farm fresh eggs. I feed the hens twice a day. Actually, probably 3. They get official meals twice a day. They get them in the morning, first thing when I let them out, they get fed, and then they get fed again at night. Or I shouldn't say at night, they get fed in the late afternoon, their second meal. And in between the day, we give them lots of yummy snacks. Whether those snacks be cracked corn, sometimes we have some scratch grains, and then whatever scraps and leftovers we have from our kitchen. You can't just throw your leftover food and scraps into the trash can, because the second they go outside into the big bin, it attracts all sorts of wildlife. Bears will come up to your house and try and get into your bins, foxes, raccoons. So to help eliminate that problem, the chickens step up and they love scraps. So that keeps it out of the trash cans, it keeps it out of the landfills, and it helps give all that extra food a purpose. Instead of just becoming waste, it becomes a nutritious snack for the birds. For example, we bought this watermelon the other day. Cut into it, wasn't very good. It's a little overly ripe, like a mushy, not very sweet watermelon. So it'll be a wonderful treat for the chickens, and they're gonna be super excited. I know they are. Look at them, they're already attacking the other half. But I forgot to cut it up before we came out here, so we're just gonna smash it. You ready to do some watermelon smashing?
Yes.
One super crucial thing about having hens and having the best egg production is fresh water. I don't use a proper bird feeder because they tend to just tip it over. So we have one of these. You can see this was refilled yesterday. Actually, even in the late afternoon, you can see how gross it already is. So we use this that's filled with dirt and chicken poop to water our little pine tree. This little bush over here. That guy. There's a little bit up for this guy. We need some hay to fill their nesting boxes. As they nest in there, they tend to kick it all out the hay. They eat a lot of it. So, just gotta keep it a little filled up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 8 eggs today. Yummy. You gotta drop on the lens in the water. This is the newest member of our flock, Tyrion. We actually just introduced him to our flock in a video or 2 ago, so you may have already been introduced to him and heard a little bit about why we got him. If you want to watch that video, you can click on this right up here.
Oh, I think it's the other side.
This over here. But we added Lord Tyrion to our flock because our chickens were starting to pick on each other a little bit, hence the pecking order. One of the benefits of having a rooster is that he sort of monitors and polices the flock to make sure that everybody's getting along. I think it's just because he wants all the attention on him. Roosters have a reputation of being kind of mean and nasty, and a lot of them can, but this guy's been super chill and such a gentleman to the ladies. When I put out food in the mornings, he always lets the ladies go to get the food first, and he makes sure that they're taken care of before he butts in. Although you sure are a little horny in the mornings.
What is it?
You know, when we first got him the first day or 2, I was like, I don't know about this guy crowing first thing in the morning. But now that we've had him for a week or so, it's hearing him sort of off in the distance is like better than any snooze alarm that you can have. He's just sort of this fate, like beautiful farm soundtrack playing off, and it's like a very peaceful way to wake up and letting us know that it's time to get up and take care of our animals. Some friends of ours in Denver had found this little guy under their house. He was a little stray cat, and they asked if we wanted a cat. And we thought, well, I guess a black barn cat would be a pretty perfect addition to our little farmstead. So we ended up with a kitty! This is Ralph. He is going to be our barn cat. So his job is to keep the mice out of the barn, protect the food, keep them away, and not get eaten. He, kind of like Arliss, has just become a really cute, sweet family pet. Or maybe he'll just end up being a house cat. That doesn't serve any purpose other than just being really adorable. Here's the best thing about having him in the house. Like, you'll be walking through the house and he'll just like dart out from behind some piece of furniture and just like start swatting your legs. But because he's so sweet, he doesn't use his nails. So you just get these cute little soft pads just like petting the side of your ankles. I'm here. Or sometimes you'll hold him. You'll be holding him like this. Hold on. You'll just be holding him and he'll be staring, gazing in your eyes. And then he'll just reach up with its little paw and just start petting your face.
Here's some cat for your cheek. There's a hawk flying over your cheek right now. Look at him.
Where is he? I mean, this would be kind of a funny outro shot. Just you cleaning up horse poop for 20 seconds.
You know what would be funnier?
What?
Is if I threw it at you.
Oh, come on, come on!
Don't forget to continue checking back, because you never know what animal we're adding next.
Who knows? It could be a milking sheep. You'll get to know all of our animals even better, because they all have such fun personalities and characters. Spread peace to the world! And give us a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Peace to the world, y'all. I gotta go.